Episode 23, Jonbenet case, a couple of what ifs. First, what if John Ramsey had decided not to discover Jonbenet's body in the wine cellar? The ransom note stated he would call between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow. Most likely, the police would have left. Maybe they would have left instructions for John if he received a telephone call, and maybe even directed an undercover officer to be stationed outside their house. And of course, the police would have arranged to come back the next morning and set up for the possible ransom call between 8 and 10 a.m. But that night, John, Patsy, Burke, John Andrew, Melinda, her boyfriend, would all be there while Jonbenet's body is lying in the wine cellar. Or second, what if John would not let Patsy call 911 that morning? Well, we know John arranged to get the ransom money with the help of his friend John Fernie. He called his stockbroker in Atlanta and arranged for a credit line, and then they went to a local bank and got the money. Now I have to do a lot of speculating, but maybe he would have arranged or pretended to get the phone call early, like it says in the ransom note, and then he would have got Jonbenet out to the car and then went through the process of pretending to exchange the money and so forth. Here, John had two options. He could have just disposed of Jonbenet's body in a dumpster somewhere, or he could have pulled off to the side of the road behind a building or something and then called 911 and screamed that his daughter was dead. Oh my God, they killed her. The reason that I made this video is you can see whether John or Patsy killed Jonbenet or was covering it up. In the first scenario, how important it was that John discovered her body at 1 o'clock. Because if he didn't discover her body, there would have been police hanging around, his family hanging around, his friends hanging around. He never would have had a chance to dispose of her body, and it would have just sat there. In the second scenario, if Patsy didn't call 911, you can see that it would have been so easy for John to dispose of Jonbenet's body. He would have had all that morning and an excuse to be out. I don't believe people give credit for how clever and smart John was, and how he's sitting right now a free man, newly remarried, enjoying his life. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and in the next episode, next weekend, we'll look at Patsy Ramsey, the evidence that suggested she killed Jonbenet.